Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chaksurunnitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadaya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadavadaya Namo Namaha Yam Pravrajanta Manupeta Krityam Dvaipayano Pirahaka Tadavajuhavam Putredi Tanmayataya Tadavobanedos Tam Sarvabhu Hridaya Manatosmi Padyavina Aparadanakshay Chittasya Kamadi Tarangamadi Kripamayitvam Sharanam Brinde Namaste Charanarvindam Tavayasmi Najivami Dambina Nitivyayari Tamanam Charanantike. Next page. Kripayati Yadiyada Vadita Sheshabhata Kimabhashishna Pustimaya Yadiratakrichit Smeralasoditasir Dvijavaramamvantya Bhakti Shaktya Pratakim Shamasundara
Shikanda Shekara Smera Samurali Manohara Radhika Rasikamam Kripam Nidhi Swapriya Charana Kinkari Prananata Vrishabhanu Nandini
Srimad Radhika Pavadale Gurusaitim Tamavajami Rasikem Rasika Samvedaya Dashanetidam Pradaye Brajamanindrananda Asto Tavati Varana Janma Janmani Madheswariya. This is on page 274 of the songbook. So if you study that, then you'll know the excellent moods that Gurudev and our Guru Varga are training us to have, which is called bhajan. First, I offer my unlimited obeisances in the dust of the lotus feet of my most worshipful Diksha Gurudev, Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pai, Astotra Sat Srimad, Shri Bhakti Vedanta, Swami Prabhupada, and the same unlimited obeisances in the dust of the lotus feet of my most worshipful Shiksha Gurudev, Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pai, Astotra Sat Srimad, Shri Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, and Shri Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj, to our Param Gurudevs, Shri Srimad Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Goswami Maharaj, and Shri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, to all of his divine associates, who you can read about in My Beloved Masters, and learn a lot about their conduct and behavior for us to follow. And to all the assembled devotees and the assembled devotees, Diksha Gurus who are my Shiksha Gurus, Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Maharaj, and Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Madhav Maharaj, Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Siddhanta Maharaj. So we're getting into we are already in very interesting and vivid descriptions of our illusion. And now comes for another level. This is Srimad Bhagavatam 5:14. 29, I believe. O Prabhu, you are not a book. You are Sri Sukadeva Goswami, Maharaj Pariksit, Jad Bharat, Srila Prabhupada. Please all of you bestow your mercy on us so that we can realize the uselessness of the illusion of material attachment and become attached to the real world where love, amorous love, is pristine and pure and elevating. Translation. The pseudo-swamis, yogis, and incarnations who do not believe in the Supreme Lord are known as pashandis. 30. They themselves are fallen and cheated, and whoever goes to them is themselves also cheated because they don't know the real path to spiritual advancement. So cheated, cheated, and cheated. Little story there with Srila Gurudev in 1995. It's when we all, who was seeing Gurudev, had to make the choice because Gurudev was at that time banned, and anybody who would go to him would be banned. So an ultimatum was given in the GBC resolutions. So I told Gurudev that I don't want to go out of your sangha, I want to stay here. So he said, he tested me and I failed. He said, if you're with me, you won't be able to do very good bhajan. I won't be able to provide a good place for you. You won't have sufficient eating. It was all a lie. So go back there, but don't be involved with position, money, and management. And they now are cheaters. Anybody, he's talking about sort of spiritualists, anybody who's going to kick out a pure devotee from the Sangha and threaten banning to anyone who sees him, and the Prabhupada rejects them and they go to hell and all of that. They are cheaters and they will be kicked out and they will be replaced by more cheaters. So not that everyone there is a cheater, but a lot of cheating. Like don't chant the name of Radha except on her appearance day. And still there's banning. But wherever there's no banning, they're actually Vaishnavas. Wherever there's non-sectarianism, they're Vaishnavas. Wherever they encourage meeting with pure devotees, even outside of the quote-unquote institution, they are Vaishnavas. Actually, I think I mentioned this a couple of times, but during those days, and the next couple of years, Srila Gurudev was saying, for those who forbid seeing the pure devotee, Krishna is very worried because he is thinking that we're coming to the hellish planets in the 5th canto. I've already created so many hells, but not one that's interesting enough for those who ban people from seeing pure devotees. And at the airport one day, in 1996, where he, in his words, became a lion and jumped over the ocean, despite the ban. He went like that, pretending to slice off his thigh, and he said they are cutting their own thighs. So then, one who is thus cheated, he sometimes takes shelter of the real followers of Vedic principles. Brahmins and those who are in Krishna consciousness, who teach everyone how to worship the Supreme Lord according to the Vedic rituals. Being unable to stick to these principles, these rascals again fall down and take shelter among Sudras, who are very expert in making arrangements for sex indulgence. Sex is very prominent among animals like monkeys, and such people who are enlivened by sex may be called descendants of monkeys. Only in that case is Darwin's philosophy correct. I was wondering just yesterday, I was thinking to myself, I remember many, many years ago, like 30 years ago, I remember reading that lovers stare at each other and it's just like monkeys. I thought, where is that? And then it came today. In this way, the descendants of the monkeys intermingle with each other, and they are generally known as Sudras. Without hesitating. So it's not that a person who's a worker, as a carpenter, like Hadai Pandit Prabhu, it's not that he's a Sudra, because he's a Brahmin. But here is describing who's a Sudra. Without hesitating, they live and move freely, not knowing the goal of life. They are captivated simply by seeing the faces of one another, which remind them of sense gratification. They are always engaged in material activities, known as gramya karma, means gross karma. And they work hard for material benefit. Thus they completely forget that one day their small spans of life will be finished and they will be degraded in the evolutionary cycle. So if we see through these eyes of the Bhagavatam, then we are known as Shastra Chaksus. So we'll discuss that more on Monday when we have the book distribution meeting. I'm just reading a couple of sentences of the purport. Materialistic people are sometimes called Sudras, or descendants of monkeys, due to their monkey-like intelligence. They don't care to know how the evolutionary process is taking place. And that's why we want to chant wherever we go, even when we're alone, going shopping, to the moss on the trees and the bacteria on the trees, because they were all once humans, and sometimes even demigods. Just as a monkey jumps from one tree to another, the conditioned soul jumps from one body to another. As the monkey is ultimately captured by the hunter and is unable to get out of captivity. The conditioned soul, being captivated by momentary sex pleasure, becomes attached by different types of bodies and encaged in family life. This is material family life. Family life affords the conditioned soul a festival of momentary sex pleasure. And family life doesn't even necessarily mean marriage. It just means getting together, married or not married. And thus he's completely unable to get out of the material clutches. Do you all know that that prayer, mantra, in the songbook, Samsara Dukkha? What page? Huh? Page 9? Basanti knows it. Okay, does everybody have their book? Huh? Well, it's not on page 9 here. Page 14. Okay. It's not on page 14 here. I guess there are different songbooks. If it's in anymore? Oh, it is. 15? After the Guru verse in the second part. Used to be. What? Yes, it is. That is correct. Everybody got it? Samsara dukkha jalido patitasya kama krodadi nakramakai kavali kritasya durvasena nigatitasya nirasrayasya chaitanya chandra mama dehi padavalambam. I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death, which is full of misery, and I'm being devoured by the crocodiles and sharks of lust, anger, greed, and so forth. Furthermore, I am chained by wicked desires. O Chaitanya Chandra, please give me, who is bereft of shelter, sanctuary at your lotus feet. So, can you just picture it? When you see people, don't think they're doing well. You can picture this. Okay, here we go. In the ocean, underneath, not surfaced. Devoured. Now imagine you're under the water and devoured by crocodiles and sharks of lust, anger, and greed. But picture the crocodiles. You can have lust, what are those things that you paste on? Stickers, yeah. Yeah. Furthermore, okay, so why don't you just swim up and swim away? Because I'm chained by wicked desires. Okay, now imagine being chained. Can you picture yourself being chained under the water, devoured by crocodiles and sharks? So where's a way out? Oh, Chaitanya Chandra, please give me, who's bereft of shelter, sanctuary at your lotus feet. Okay. Our kirtans and mantras and verses are as, philosophically teaching as the scriptures are. The conditioned soul forgets his relationship with the Lord and does not care for Krishna consciousness. He simply engages in different types of mischievous and sinful activities. He's then subjected, You know what they are, the threefold miseries. And out of fear of the elephant of death, he falls into the darkness found in a mountain cave. Many picturesque things to meditate on. If you like, you speak together all day, you can remind each other, okay, let's just picture the elephant smashing your head in, and also the soot and the lime and the scorching. He also suffers due to the activities of the other living beings due to natural disturbance and due to natural disturbances. He's affected by severe winds and colds. When he's unable to counteract them and has to remain in a miserable condition, he naturally becomes very morose because he wants to enjoy material facilities. We had our next door neighbors come over today, and they wanted to invite us to an event that they're having for to remind everybody of the 2023 October 7 love festival that took place in Israel and which was bombed and many hundred people were killed. And then they just threw in all these different countries that, like, really all over the world, how people are suffering from wars. Not only Israel and Gaza, but then there's Africa and Iran, and then there were shootings just after you folks got back in the van leaving the parade, and the truck that went into the crowd and killed so many people. It's like everywhere. Everyone is insane due to sense gratification, due to being controlled by their leaders. What's that verse about falling into the ditch? You know the whole one? Where is it? Seventh Canto, Teachings of Prahlad Maharaj. Somebody can check? It's another one. So because of a few leaders, millions of people have to die in wars. And if they're not dying in wars, they're dying of another thing that's happening. One thing or another. No one's happy even for a moment. Not for a moment. Threefold miseries are there, or two, or at least one, all the time. He's going to find it and call out. Oh yeah, so in 1968, while he's looking, the temple was in Boston, Massachusetts, and there was one university called Boston University. And in 1968, the young men who were totally Sudras were sent to the war in Vietnam to try to act like Kshatriyas. And so one draft dodger was hiding in the sanctuary at Boston University. And we, the temple devotees, were thinking of picketing with them. So fortunately, we asked Srila Prabhupada, who wrote back that there's really no difference between the war makers and the peacemakers, because their aim and object is sense gratification. The war makers want sense gratification through getting money with ammunition, guns, and just war, the pleasure of killing others, and the peacemakers want peace so they can do their sense gratification peacefully. So he said, so don't picket with them, because the goal of theirs is the same, which is to order God. We want war, we want peace. He said, but God is not the order supplier. He's the order giver. So if you want to go to the parade, fine, but go to give out Back to Godhead magazines.
7531.
And, nope, and Mike. Yes.
Can you turn off your mic?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, maybe it. Nate vitu sarvata gati. Oh, wait, that's not the right. You gotta turn yours back on. We got that. Do you have something to say? You want to say something?
Those of you who like to learn verses, Prahlad Maharaj's teachings to his father and to his classmates are very good verses to learn.
7.531. Nate vitu sarvata gatim hi vishnum dorashayaye. You don't like that one? No, the tune. Vishnum dorashayaye bahir artamanina andayadander upaniyamanas te pishatantraya murubdamni badha. Persons who are strongly entrapped by the consciousness of enjoying material life and who have therefore accepted as their leader or guru a similar blind man attached to external sense objects cannot understand that the goal of life is to return home, back to Godhead, and engage in the service of Lord Vishnu. As blind men, guided by another blind man, miss the right path and fall into a ditch, materially attached men, led by another materially attached man, are bound by the ropes of fruit of labor, which are made of very strong cords, and they continue again and again in materialistic life, suffering the threefold miseries.
Like a man in a straitjacket. Now there's another one, Charvita Charvananam. But can you speak louder?
So,
Sanskrit too.
hold on, just lost it.
Matirna Krishna Bhagato. Wait, where will you find it?
Matirna Krishna Bharata Swatova Mito Vipadyeta Griha Pratanam Adanta Gobir Pishitam Tamisram Punapanashcharvita Charavanam. Prahlad Maharaj replied,
Why is he so low?
the sound. Because of their uncontrolled senses, persons too addicted to materialistic life make progress towards hellish conditions and repeatedly chew that which has already been chewed. Their inclinations toward Krishna are never aroused, either by the instructions of others, by their own efforts, or by a combination of both.
Okay, thank you. Imagine this. Somebody's chewing bubble gum, and he spits it on a dirty floor that cars roll over, and somebody picks it up and chews it again. That's called charvita charvananam, chewing that which has already been chewed. My grandfather did it, my father did it, I'm doing it, my kids are going to do it. Sometimes conditioned souls exchange money, but in due course of time, enmity arises because of cheating. Although there may be a little tiny profit, the conditioned souls cease to be friends and become enemies. Sometimes, having no money, the conditioned soul does not get sufficient accommodations. Sometimes he doesn't even have a place to sit, nor does he have the other necessities. In other words, he falls into scarcity and is unable to secure the necessities of life. So he decides to seize the property of others unfairly. When he cannot get things he wants, he simply receives insults from others and thus becomes very morose. Although people may be enemies in order to fulfill their desires again and again, they sometimes get married. Unfortunately, these marriages do not last very long, and the people involved are separated again by divorce and other means. The path of this material world is full of material miseries, and various troubles disturb them. Sometimes he loses, sometimes he gains. In either case, the path is always full of danger. Sometimes he's separated from Father by death or other circumstances. Leaving him aside, he gradually becomes attached to others, such as his children. In this way, the conditioned soul is sometimes illusion and afraid, cries loudly out of fear, happy maintaining its family, and overjoyed and sings melodiously. In this way, he becomes entangled and forgets his separation from the Lord. Since how long? Time immemorial. What does time immemorial mean? It means it's so long that it's incalculable. Thus he traverses the dangerous path of material existence, and he's not at all happy. Without accepting the devotional path, so we want to be convinced of this when we reach out to the public. Without accepting the devotional path, one cannot get out of the clutches of material existence. The conclusion is that no one can be happy in material life. One must take to Krishna consciousness. Saintly persons who are friends of all living entities have a peaceful consciousness. They have controlled their senses and minds, and they easily attain the path of liberation, the path back to Godhead. Being unfortunate and attached to the miserable material conditions, a materialistic person cannot associate with them. So bhakti is rare. I want to ask you a question, Haridas. Do you have Vilab Kusmanjali on here in this temple? Can you find the 5th verse, Gurudev's purport, and near the end? The reason I'm mentioning is that yesterday we talked about Narahari Sarakara's writings, and one of them was the Sri Sachinandan Astakam. So we have that there, and then Gurudev comments on it. Very beautiful, because every day we need something to balance the bitter. Right. Sometimes he does pious activities and goes to heavenly planets, but he can't remain there. After reappearing, the results of his pious activities, reaping the results of his pious activities, he has to return to the lower planetary systems, means hellish planetary systems, where you'll be a cockroach and have a bigger insect kill you or run over by a car. Sometimes we see insects like punching each other and fighting with each other. Loud. Take the mic.
Like yesterday, I saw a cockroach in the ashram, and I killed it, but I said Hare Krishna.
What? Why would you do that?
I don't know. Because it was on my bed, and I was really freaking out.
Just take it outside.
Okay, well, I'm sorry I'm murderer.
You have to do a lot to rectify yourself.
Okay. I'm sorry. I deserve this.
When I was in public school, as a delicacy, the teachers fed us chocolate-covered cockroaches. No.
Wait, so even chanting to them is not good?
No. Take any human and chant to him and kill him. Is that okay? I just killed a mosquito. Gurudev did this in Singapore. He said, you haven't created them, so you have no right to destroy them.
I did hear that Shastra says something about blood sucking, that you can kill blood sucking.
Can you find that?
Yeah.
You can kill a snake if it's coming.
Yes, every venomous animals, the Brahmana has to kill any venomous
Well, not if he's just sitting there. If he's coming to you like a snake.
Like mosquitoes, for example, they give like
Because they're envious.
dengue
Shasta says
fever.
that they're envious.
So,
Ravana has to kill them.
where does it say that everywhere you see a snake? Yeah.
They give dengue and malaria and all kinds of things.
Yes. And if you kill them, in your next life, you'll be giving dengue and malaria. There's a story about, it's in the Harmony book, about a lady, beautiful, old, realized, had a son, like 9 or so years old. And she used to maintain herself by begging, and then she also worshipped her deity. So she would send her son out to pick flowers in the bushes. Is Jagadananda Prabhu understanding any of this? So one day he got bit by a big black snake, and a hunter happened to be passing by, and he knew the art of snake charming. So he said the mantra, and the snake went into his basket, and he closed the basket, put the boy on his shoulder, and went to the mother and told her what happened, and she started wailing. And then when she calmed down, he said, "So, will you please give me the order to cut this snake into pieces?" She said, "Why? Will that bring back my son?" "No, then don't. But he may kill other people." So she said, "No, don't." But he didn't want to listen to her. So he was just about to cut up the snake when the snake said, "Look, don't blame me. I've been in this bush for years and I never bit anybody. If you want to blame anybody, blame time. Time is a person, Kal." So immediately Kal appeared as a person. And he said, "Don't blame me. It was the time, Kal, for your son to get the sinful reaction, for killing that snake in his last life when they were both boys. And now the boy came back as a snake to kill your son." So why did I tell that?
That's why we don't kill mosquitoes.
Yeah, we don't kill mosquitoes. And it's going to be, if you do get dengue, it's because you deserve to get the dengue. And if you're a devotee and you get dengue, then you would have gotten much worse. Did you have dengue, Santi? Chikungunya, the same thing.
What about when it's like,
Huh?
you know, like the mosquito just lands on your arm and you just like.
If you're not thinking, sometimes we do it out of instinct. But if you're thinking, then you can just shoo him off and chant Hare Krishna.
Here, David, so you know that Jagadananda is going to start his English license soon. He went to the college, but it turns out they can't start until we're too late, and so it would start again like February 10th.
Great. Good. What? Yeah, he is sincere. He said 2 sentences the other day. Huh? Oh, great. That's great. Thank you. But wait. And that's the best turban I've seen so far.
Thank you. It's all about getting the apex coming up right there. I got you with the
But
geometric
you're going to
turban.
be expert when Madhu comes.
Absolutely. Okay, so you mentioned Kal being the personification of time. In all Gnostic scriptures and texts, time is associated with the planet Saturn. Is that also correlated in the Vedic scriptures? Father Time, and Saturn being the last planet, always correlates to time. So I was wondering if the Vedas is the same.
I can't say because I'm not familiar with anything about Saturn, but back in the 3rd canto, there's a chapter called Time from the Atom. And Krishna says, time is the time it takes for planets to get from one point to another. I forget the details. Time from the atom to Brahma. So, and Krishna says in the Gita, time I am, destroyer of the worlds, and I've come to engage all men. But for you, the Pandavas, everyone will be finished here on this battlefield. So I can't answer about Saturn.
No worries. If there's some type of book that has those more like esoteric stuff, I'm interested. If you know, thank you.
Okay. So I'm interested to ask you to read that chapter. Third canto, just look in the table of contents. Time from the atom. Very interesting and very scientific, very mystical. And then I'm going to ask you to give us a summary. Okay. You have 3 days. Yeah.
3 days time.
In the spiritual world, there's no time. Just an ever unfolding, ever fresh, ever new presence.
Your first class, Canto.
It'll be your first class. Okay. Right, we're coming to an end. Having summarized the teachings of Jadabharat, Sukadeva Goswami said, "My dear King Parikshit," now who are these people in the spiritual world?
Gopis.
A gopi and a bird. Radhika's personal bird, who she personally feeds sweet rice, pomegranates too. Sukadeva Goswami said, "My dear King Parikshit, the path indicated by Jadabharat is like the path followed by Garuda, the carrier of the Lord, and ordinary kings. Ordinary kings are just like flies." I don't get it. Let me do it again. "My dear King Parikshit, the path indicated by Jadabharat is like the path followed by Garuda, the carrier of the Lord." And it must be some typos.
If they're saying that Judd Buddit was like Garuda and that he was a Vaishnava, but I guess materialistic kings are like flies.
Yeah, materialistic kings, ordinary kings are like flies. Flies cannot follow the path of Garuda. And to date, none of the great kings and victorious leaders should follow the path, could follow the path of devotional service, not even mentally. So, talking about leaders again. What did it say about leaders in that previous verse?
That materialistic men who are too attached.
No, before, the other day. That the materialistic leaders, government heads, are like carnivorous demons and are like Rakshasas, man-eaters. While in the prime of life, the great Maharaj Bharat gave up everything because he was fond of serving the Lord. Uttama Shloka. What does Uttama Shloka mean?
Described by the best of verses.
Glorified by choice verses. Did you find the 5th verse? Vilap Kusmanjali?
Oh, yes.
You have it? Did you find the exact place? Okay, I'll call on you in a minute. This is now recapping Bharat Maharaj. He gave up his beautiful wife, nice children, great friends, and an enormous empire. Although these things were very difficult to give up, he was so exalted, but he gave them up just as one gives up stool after evacuating. I wonder, actually we are coming to the end of the chapter. My dear King, the activities of Bharat Maharaj are very wonderful. He gave up everything difficult for others to give up. His opulences were so great that even the demigods envied them. I'm on 44. It was quite befitting a great personality like him to be a great devotee. He could renounce everything because he was so attracted to the beauty, opulence, reputation, knowledge, strength, and renunciation of the Lord. Krishna is so attractive that one can give up all desirable things for his sake. I was just reading in Brihad Bhagavatamrita that when Krishna, he was in Dwarka, and he was feeling great separation from Vrindavan and crying. And then he and his brother Balaram fell unconscious, and then Brahma instructed Garuda to fly them to New Vrindavan. It was created by Brahma, actually, and there was all kinds of lifelike statues of Mother Yasoda, Nanda Baba, the gopis, the cowherd boys. And they gave Krishna the cowherd boy dress, unlike the dress he was wearing in Dwarka. And then when Kamsa's wicked mother, Padmavati, who thought that Krishna was being tortured in Vrindavan when he was there, and the Brajbasis owe him money for all of his services. Anyway, so even she ran after him. Even she became lusty and ran after him to embrace him. That's how attractive Krishna is as a cowherd boy. That one can give up all desirable things for his sake. Do you all want to see him face to face? Indeed, even liberation is considered insignificant for those whose minds are attracted to the loving service of the Lord. Even though in the body of the deer, Maharaj Bharat did not forget the Lord. Therefore, when he was giving up his body of a deer, he loudly uttered the following prayer. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is sacrifice personified. He gives the results of ritualistic activity. He is the protector of religious systems, the personification of mystic yoga, the source of all knowledge, the controller of the entire creation. So why go elsewhere? And the supersoul in every living entity. He's beautiful and attractive. I am quitting this body, offering obeisances unto him, and hoping that I may perpetually engage in his transcendental loving service. Uttering this, the deer left his body. Devotees interested in hearing, this is the last verse, and chanting, Shravanam Kirtanam, regularly discuss the pure characteristics of Bharat Maharaj and praise his activities. If one submissively hears and chants about the auspicious Maharaj Bharat, one's lifespan and material opulences certainly increase. You're all going to get rich from hearing all this. And you're going to be old. One can become very famous and easily attain promotion to the heavenly planets, or attain liberation by merging into the existence of the Lord. Whatever one desires can be attained simply by hearing, chanting, be ready, Vasanti, and glorifying the activities of Maharaj Bharat. In this way, one can fulfill all his material and spiritual desires. One does not have to ask anyone else for anything else. For simply by studying the life of Maharaj Bharat, one can attain all desirable things. Okay, you ready, Vasanti?
Wait, does that mean that we can? Does that mean we can get?
It means hearing the whole Bhagavatam. Vasanti, are you ready? Bhav, louder. Can somebody give her the mic? She's going to tell you the verse that she learned yesterday and today. Go on, I'll help you. Bhaveshmin kleshamananam avidya kama karma bhi shravanam smaranarhani karisyaniti kechana. Go, English.
Thank you.
Who's speaking?
Queen Kunzi.
Now scientists, Prabhupada said scientists, are extremely involved in trying to source the suffering of life, and then of course how to relieve it. So they're spending millions of dollars on that, or billions. But this whole thing of why people are suffering are in this prayer of Queen Kunti. Hit it.
Yet others say that you've come
Speaking to the Supreme Lord.
to rejuvenate one's devotional service of hearing, chanting, and worshiping in order to
That the conditioned
that the
souls
conditioned soul
who are suffering
have
from material
material
pangs
have the opportunity to what's the word before
take advantage of this
and become
attain
liberated.
liberation. Good. All right, Haridas, you're on. Okay, now here's the complete antithesis of the bitterness. I'll do it. But in case I have to skip anything or turn to anything. So yesterday, Radhika asked about the writings of, where's the verse?
The verse is down here.
Okay.
I just put it where there's like an intro to what they're asking.
Okay, good. So, Radhika asked about the writings of the spiritual master of Lochandas Thakur, and his name is Narahari Sarakar. And so, you did, Gadagraji, you were reading the verse that told what he wrote. Okay. So anyway, so one of them was the Sachinandan Astakam. So now we're going to hear about the Sachinandan Astakam, which is incredibly rasic.
Is Lochandas Thakur right after Mahaprabhu? Just after? Like he was before Narottam Srinivas.
Can you look it up in the book? It could be that he was at the same time. Let's check. So, my godbrother Tamal Krishna Maharaj said, we very much want to understand how to meditate upon and worship Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We are all feeling that, the devotees who are coming to see him. All books say that we must understand Radha and Krishna by understanding Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Gurudev replies, we should do as Srila Raghunath Das Goswami has done. He has written only 2 or 3 prayers in his Valapakus Manjali to Mahaprabhu and his followers. All the other prayers are to Radha and Krishna. Yet, he is so indebted to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He's not thinking that Radha and Krishna are anyone other than Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu ordered us to do Krishna bhajan, so we do Krishna bhajan, Krishna kirtan. He has told us to always remember Krishna's pastimes and Radha's pastimes, and we do so. In this way we are obeying and serving Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In this light we should think about everything. Can somebody repeat that? Before that, the whole paragraph.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has ordered us to chant the names of Krishna, to remember Krishna, Radha and Krishna. So in this way we're obeying his order.
And we think in this light that Radha and Krishna are none other than Mahaprabhu. In this light we should think about everything. Whatever we are receiving, whatever we are realizing, whatever we are telling, all of it is to please Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When we see him, we remember that he's not Krishna, but rather Radha. He's not in the mood of Krishna. Though he's both of them, he's Krishna, Radha outside, Krishna is inside is Radharani. All of our Gurujan, means spiritual superiors, have said that Krishna is a cheater, but not as much of a cheater as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Krishna has cheated some people, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has cheated everyone. Krishna has taken, doesn't that sound strange?
Yes, why?
Why? Krishna has taken the golden color of Radharani. Why?
Because he wants to relish love, the sweetness of
In his Sachinandan Astakam, which is also known as Chaitanyastakam, it is said that Krishna has stolen Radharani's golden complexion, Radhakanti, and become golden. He's therefore the greatest cheater because he's actually amorous Krishna in the form of a renunciate. In all this Astakam sloks, Narahari has described only this cheating fact, and he is offering his pranam to that cheater. He has explained this in such a good manner that it fills the heart with joy. You ready to have that? So another devotee asked, I have a question from text 5. You speak of Mahaprabhu, how he has taken a golden color of Radhika, and that having taken her color, he's actually the biggest cheater because he has cheated everyone. Then you say that in all the sloks, he's described only the cheating propensity of Mahaprabhu. But you haven't said where this from, on what the verse is. So Gurudev said, he has left us this stuti stava called Sachinandanastakam. The first slok is written like this. Excuse me if I mess it up. Gopinam kuchikunkamena nichitam basa kimashtayanam nindad kanchana kanti rasa rasikeshena godam vibhu tasam gada karabhimandita vasal lamognago drishaye ascharyam sakipashalam pataguru. He's the Lampat Guru. Sanyasavesham Chipo. He's dressed as a sannyasi, but actually he's the Lampat Guru, the Guru of all the debauchees. Yes. Right. So he's explaining who Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is. He is pointing out that he is Lampat Guru. Do you know the meaning of Lampat Guru? He's the Guru of all cheaters and debauchees. There are many millions of cheaters, but he is Lampat Guru. He's the Guru of them all. And now he has taken the dress of a sannyasi. Why? The gopis use kumkum, which is the color of saffron, on their breasts. So he has dressed himself in the cloth of that color, because Krishna wants to wear the kumkum. When he embraces the gopis, the kumkum of their breasts comes on him. So he always wants to wear that. He is... So this is Kunkamena Nichitam. Mahaprabhu is Gauravapu, golden complexion, because he's covered his limbs with Kanchanakanti, the golden color of the rasa rasikas. The rasa rasikas means Radhika, Lalita, Vishaka, Chitra, Padma, and all others like them. He has taken their complexion, and thus he's become golden. Tasam garu karabi pandanavasal lamo gano drishyate. Now he is overwhelmed by sattvic vikar, the 8 ecstatic transformations. He trembles, weeps, and so on. Why? Because that Lampat Guru has embraced all the rasa rasika gopis. He experiences all those symptoms of ecstasy. He is thus Lampat Guru in sannyas dress. What? Sachinandanastakam. Sometimes it's said, it's written by, because there's a lot of confusion in this area, by Narahari Chakravarti, And sometimes it's said it's written by Narahari Sarakar.
Who's Padma?
Padma is a friend of Chandravali. Yeah. But he also kisses her.
It says the rasa rasikas are.
Yeah, all the gopis are rasa rasikas. That means they're expert in tasting ras. And then Gurudev says this is also...
Why do you think he happened to mention one of Chandravali's gopis?
Sometimes he mentions Chandravali. Well, they're the two topmost gopis. But one's on one side and one's on the other side.
More topmost than like Lalita and Shah?
No, of course not. But of all the group heads, like Lalita likes to be in Radhika's group, Ute. Let me see if there's anything else. All right, so Gurudev says, Vrindavan Vilasini asked, in the Venu Geet, the slok about Govardhan, Gurudev says, Hantayam Ardhara Bala Haridasavaryo. Here it says, the devotee says, Srimati Radhika has two perceptions, one when she's in Braj and one when she is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Gurudev said, Radhika has two moods. Devotee says, yes, when she is in Braj and one when she is Mahaprabhu. She's not Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu is Krishna with her mood. So her mood is Mahaprabhu. She's perceiving herself as Mahaprabhu. Her bhava is there, but there is also some difference. You also say we should see Mahaprabhu as Radhika, but then Gurudev says, he's not Radhika. He's personally Krishna, the Lampad Guru. Radhika is so simple, and he is a debauchee, a liar, and a cheater. He has taken the mood and color of Radhika, and now he's acting like her, but actually he's Krishna. It is Sri Gadadhar Pandit who is Radhika, watching to see how Krishna is playing her part. So the devotee asks, then what does it mean when it says that there are two perceptions, one when she's in Braj and one when she is Mahaprabhu? Sometimes you can't put something into English. There's no English equivalent. So it may sound like one thing, but it means another thing. Then Gurudev said again, Krishna has taken the mood of Radhika and is acting like her. This is one thing. Second, Gadadhar Pandit, who is non-different from her, is standing there and watching. Radhika is there separately, so Mahaprabhu is Krishna, trying to play her part, and she's also standing there watching. Can anybody imitate anybody here in this room? Want to try? No, that's every... Why? He doesn't do doopy-doop. Everybody plays mridanga. Okay, so can anybody imitate Sukanta? So right, so we're imitating Sukanta, but are we doing a perfect job? No. He'll stand there and say, no, how I do it is this way. Anyway, so similarly, Radhika is there, correcting how Krishna is playing her part. Okay. If I assume a pose to imitate you, my pose is with me, but I am posing like you. Radhika may pose like Krishna, but she's not Krishna. Similarly, Mahaprabhu is Krishna, and Radhika in the form of Gadadhar is watching. I have spoken in this mood that she has two kinds of manifestations, one in Mahaprabhu, in Krishna's mood, and the other in Gadadhar. Here, Krishna has assumed the mood of Radha in her separation mood in Braj. In other words, in Gambhira, Krishna is acting like Radha. He walks through walls. You heard yesterday from Chaitanya Charitamrita that sometimes his head and arms go into his body like a tortoise. All right, we'll end here. What? Okay, good. Yes, and yeah, so that's the end. No final questions. I have a request that starting tomorrow, when we do the audiobook of CC, pick the ones by Damodar. Okay, that's the end. I hope it has a short answer like yes or no. Yeah. So is that a good counteraction of the bitterness? What?
Yesterday during class, you spoke on Chaitanya Mangal, and also Chaitanya Bhagavat, and also Chaitanya Charitamrita, and how all those three authors were kind of related and glorifying each other. I also read that there's maybe two more live recordings of Mahaprabhu, one by Murari Gupta called Chaitanya Charita, and then
Murari Gupta's did a Kadacha, means a diary, and Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami took from his diary the notes from his diary to put in his Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Oh, that was his reference.
His main reference was Swarup Damodar's diary.
Okay. And then
and also Raghunath Das Goswami.
and then one more one was by Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur, the Chaitanya Chandramrita.
Chaitanya Charitamrita is not his life study, it's just prayers.
Oh, it's
And each prayer has a different incident, but it's not a whole book about it.
What's an incident? Like just like a pastime?
Yeah, like, I remember you when you were calling out to the priest at Jagannath, please show me my Krishna. When will you again come cross my path?
Okay.
Let me see you.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so that's the end. Gaur Premanandi, all of the questions tomorrow. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Gaur Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol.
These are the 14 biographies.
Okay, it's time to start the day. But starting Monday, we'll start our day earlier.